Okay, students, let's start. Before I start this today's session, which works as a resit orientation for those they are appearing in September if they have not got a good result, let me make a very important announcement. I hope that everyone is going to like it. Before making an extremely important announcement, which I have not made, but today I'm going to make the announcement. But before making an announcement, let me give you a context a little bit. ATX, actually what exactly we offer, let me tell you that, and then why that announcement is very important. I hope that everyone knows, those they are enrolled especially, that just within 80 lectures, we have covered the entire ATX. And one lecture on average, I'm not saying exactly, but on average, one lecture is just 45 minutes long. So on average, each lecture is just 45 minutes long. So each lecture is just 45 minutes long. Why I'm saying these things, even though you know that, because those they are enrolled, then can I say from lecture 81, it goes till 125, and that's a really big number. From 81 till 125, all are practice videos, all practice videos. In each class, we have covered one complete question from the Kaplan Kit. So in each class, in each practice class, we have covered one complete question from your latest Finance Act from your Kaplan Kit. From Kaplan Kit. And it's a really big number. To me, to be very honest, questions from 81 till 125, they're more than enough for the practice. And obviously, in the first 80 lectures, you will see questions from the Kaplan Kit as well. Along with that, we do offer you notes within just 92 pages. They covered each and everything, and weekly live revision classes and everything. We do have a, I would say, smart revision. Within just 10 hours, we can revise the entire ATX. And this is already there on the portal. Before the exam, I would say at least 12, maximum 15 days before the exam, there's a mock. And mock is actually followed by a proper mock debrief. Now, what is the announcement? After obviously thinking so many things. See, the main objective is to improve the passing rate. Okay. Look at these lectures. Obviously, to me, if you ask me, so I would say the first 80 lectures, they do cover questions from the kit as well. But from 81 till 125, more or less, every practice video covers one complete questions from the Kaplan Kit. Okay. Then notes in each and everything. Actually, by meeting number of students and consulting and each and everything, I have come to the conclusion, and that is, what is the main reason why student they flunk? Why do they fail in ATX? Actually, there are two main reasons. Number one is when someone is not able to recall the rules. See, if you are unable to recall the rules, then you won't be able to do anything. So entire syllabus of ATX, I would say it is extremely easy. And let me tell you, the passing rate of ATX is extremely good overall. it is 47%. And if you look at other professional papers, and second highest and more or less the same passing rate is AFM. If you look at AAA and APM, so not good passing rate at all. They're not having really good passing rates. There's a difference of, I would say, at least 10%. For example, if ATX is having a 47% passing rate worldwide, then AAA and APM, they are having around 37%. AFM is having 47%, and others too. AAA and APM, they're having 37. So right now, two papers, they are having really a high passing rate. One is AFM and another is ATX. I'm not putting so much emphasis because that I'm teaching both of them. The main thing is that's what ACCA says. The passing rates are extremely good when it comes to these two papers. Okay. Why do people fail in ATX? Number one reason I've just mentioned, that is unable to recall the rules. Second, lack of practice. Just two reasons. So for practice, this area actually covers the practice part. This area from 81 till 125, it covers the practice part. For example, let's say, assuming that you have seen all the lectures from 81 till 125, so after that, you should be doing at least 5 to 10 additional questions. The benefit would be automatically your practice will increase. Otherwise, if you have time constraint, you don't have so much time, then again, I would say lecture from 81 till 125, they're more than enough. There are I would say there are plenty of students, they got passed in this last session, and majority of them, they just got command on whatever I have taught. To be very honest, not a single extra question, because question from 81 till 125, they're more than enough. But obviously, you're not supposed to just watch the lecture, you need to have a command. Now, so one area is the practice, which I have told you, the bullet number 2, the point number 2 covers the practice area. I would recommend at least try to do at least five additional questions than whatever I have taught. Now, a very important and the big announcement and a commitment from my side, which I really want to make today, because I really want you people to pass. Obviously, this is what my objective of teaching is. This is a primary objective. See, once you get passed, you get affiliated. Obviously, there's so many things in your life which you have to do it. At least I can help you in getting affiliate, getting past this paper as soon as possible. So what I'm going to do, the announcement. Look at this. Entire ATX. Entire ATX. We are going from today onwards, we are going to cover the entire ATX in our live classes. So entire ATX we are going to revise in our live classes. But I need one commitment at least from my students. See, the benefit would be, see, for the practice, point number 2 of my course, it's more than enough for the practice. I have number of queries I have seen from my students where I have analyzed that a student, they keep forgetting the rules. They're finding difficulties in recalling the rules. So the solution is, let's go for the entire ATX revision. Let's cover the entire ATX revision through live online classes. But students, I need commitment from you as well, that whenever I'm going to conduct the class, no matter how long it is, you have to come up and attend the live class. Only then you will get obviously the benefit. Otherwise, we know that these classes will be uploaded on the portal as well. But since if I'm making a commitment, I need a commitment from you also. Because I want every one of you to pass this paper. So from here onwards, we will be revising the entire ATX through the live classes. But please listen to me carefully. It does not mean that you stop watching other pre-recorded lectures. No. You have to watch each and every lecture. Along with that, you have to attend these live classes so that we can go through the entire ATX. Plus, the benefit would be you can ask the question during the live class in any topic where you are having confusion, which is not clear to you. So now, let's say ASA gives you this opportunity to revise the entire ATX in the live classes. So I strongly believe this announcement, you should be happy after listening to this announcement. So students, any comments on this announcement? So before I start the class officially, any comments, or shall we just begin? Don't worry at all. You will get to know far before the class. At least it will be announced 2 days before the class. Don't worry at all. But please see, look at the date. Students, listen. Today's date is 21st of July. The paper is in September. So whenever I'm going to conduct the class, I want you to try to manage each and everything and take these classes. You don't have so much time. Even you will be sacrificing, so there won't be a class every day. So it means you are not going to have everyday classes. So if you can manage, seriously, we can make the difference. So please try to manage, because I am passionate, I'm motivated. I want you to pass the paper. So obviously, if I want you to pass the paper, I also want you to work hard and smarter as well. See, the smart revision gives you the chance to revise each and everything within 10 hours. But now one more thing we have introduced, let's revise the entire syllabus in live classes. So that, at least we should not leave, I would say, a single stone unturned. Let's try to turn each and every stone. Okay, now let's start. And all the PDFs of each and every class will be uploaded on the portal, so that anyone who is not having time constraint cannot copy, no issue at all. You will be getting PDF of each and every class. Now, I think that ACCA will tell you exactly, basically, normally what happens, they upload 2 papers. I think after the second attempt, they upload 1 paper by mixing both the papers. What do? They take 1 or 2 questions from the previous attempt and 1 and 2 questions from the recent attempt. This is so in 4 attempts, there will be ACCA uploads 2 past papers, not all of them. Okay, now ATX, we always start our taxation from individuals, okay? And individuals in UK. Okay. We'll discuss each and everything, don't worry at all. Individuals in UK, they pay tax according to tax year. Individuals in UK pay tax according to the tax year. Another name for the tax year is fiscal year. Okay, students. Tax year in UK starts from 6 April, for example, 6 April 22, ends on 5th April 2023. 6 April 2023, then ends on 5th April 2024. How do we write the tax year? 22, 23? 23, 24. Okay. Now, next. Every individual in UK is not required to pay the tax. Repeat. Every individual in UK is not required to pay the tax. Only those individuals are required to pay the tax. They have income. More than what amount, students? Can I say they have income more than the personal allowance? Yes. And the personal allowance is pound 12570. It is 12,570. So only those individuals are required to pay tax. They have income more than 12,570. Number one. Number two, when we say individual, for example, Mr. X. Now, what are the possibilities? What are the possibilities? Then, how many sources of finance are available to Mr. X from where Mr. X can earn money? There's a possibility that Mr. X is earning money from non-saving sources of finance, non-saving income. Mr. X is having non-saving income. For example, he's having employment income, let's say property income, trading income, and so on. For example, pension income. So there's a possibility that Mr. X is having income from the non-saving. Examples are non-saving incomes. Examples are employment income, property income, trading income. Even the pension income falls in non-saving. Okay. Mr. X could be earning from the saving as well. That is saving income. Saving income simply means interest income. Saving income simply means interest income. We are starting from zero. You people should automatically will be able to know what exactly we are discussing. We are starting from zero. And I'm going to follow the same sequence which you people have in the pre-recorded lectures. And before the class, I will share the topics as well, no issue at all, so that you people can also revise. Okay, saving income, that is simply interest income. There's a possibility that Mr. X is also earning from dividend income. He's also having dividend income. So there's a possibility that Mr. X is having income from non-saving, income from, let's say, saving, as well as income from dividend. Now, please. If someone is having income from the non-saving, saving, and dividend, then what is the procedure to pay tax? What are the tax rates and how do we apply those tax rates? One student is saying he cannot hear me. What about others? Samuel is saying Samuel is not. See, other student can hear. So please write a message. There's no device that. So please, you need to rejoin. Now let us see first the tax rates and bands for the non-saving, saving, and dividend income. And all the tax rates, they will be given to you in exam. Non-saving income, saving income, and dividend income. Basic rate band from £1 till goes till 37,700. Applicable tax rate is 20%, 20%, and 8.75%. And let me repeat, these bands and rates will be given to you in exam. Higher rate band, 37,001 goes till 1,25,140. Applicable rate is 40, 40, and 33.75%. Additional rate, 1,25,141 plus above, then there is no limit. It is 45, 45, and 39.35%. Okay, now. Great. Now, when it comes to saving income, relating to saving income, we have three, I would say, additional rules relating to saving income. In saving income, there's one concept, or you can say there's a rule of starting rate band as well. From £1 till £5,000, applicable rate is 0%. When do we use a starting rate band? Obviously, we will discuss. Second point is, in case of saving income, there is a rule for the nil rate band as well. But exactly what amount of the nil rate band is given to the individual, it depends on the individual tax paying status. For example, if individual is a basic rate taxpayer, basic rate taxpayer. If individual is a basic rate taxpayer, then nil rate band for the saving income is £1,000. Obviously, the applicable rate is 0%. Third, if individual is a higher rate taxpayer, if individual is a higher rate taxpayer, then applicable nil rate band is £500 for the saving income and rate is 0%. Fourth and the last, additional rate taxpayer, no nil rate band for saving income. So when it comes to saving income, there's a concept, there's a rule of a starting rate band, there's a rule for the base nil rate band. When 1,000 comes, when 500 comes, I have mentioned each and everything. Dividend income. Can I say, in case of dividend income, irrespective of individual's tax paying status, every individual gets nil rate band of £1,000. Yes or no? Nil rate band, £1,000. Can I say for every individual? When we say every individual, then obviously no matter, either basic rate taxpayer, higher or additional. Now, another thing, non-saving, saving income and dividend income. Non-saving, saving income and dividend income. How do we apply these rates? Whenever we calculate income tax, the sequence of calculating the income tax is always, first you have to tax the non-saving sources of income. Second, We will go towards saving income, and finally, at the end, we'll go for dividend income. This is the sequence of calculating the income tax, and this sequence never changes. Repeat. This is the sequence of calculating income tax, and this sequence does not change. Now, normal personal allowance allocation. What is the normal sequence of allocating the personal allowance? The normal sequence of allocating the personal allowance is 1, 2, and 3. This is the normal sequence of allocating the personal allowance. But listen now carefully. According to HMRC, this normal personal allowance allocation sequence can be changed, provided that due to change in personal allowance allocation, individual is going to get benefit. The benefit is obviously individual will end up by paying less tax. So according to HMRC, if individual wants, can change the personal allowance allocation. Sometime, I'm not saying always, sometime the allocation could be different. That is, number 1, 2, and then 3. But the logic behind, reasoning behind changing the allocation is, according to HMRC, if change in the personal allowance allocation results in tax saving, then obviously HMRC says go ahead, we don't mind. So, in which scenario, in which situation, we have to actually change the personal allowance allocation? Let me just give you an example. Let's say we have employment income assuming 10,000. We have saving income, let's say 5,000. We have dividend income, let's say 15,000. Requirement is very simple. Calculate income tax liability. Obviously, we have to first use the first is non-saving income. Non-saving income. Then you have to write saving income. The third one is dividend income. Final column is total. Employment income, we know that it's a non-saving income. Employment income is a non-saving income. Saving income is 5,000. Dividend income is 15. So the total is 30. Personal allowance. We know that personal allowance amount is 12,570. First, we have to deduct the personal allowance from here. Taxable income. Please look at this. Taxable income in the column of non-saving, it is 0. It means non-saving income will not be utilizing any band. Why? Because the taxable income is 0. Okay, now just look at this 5,000. Since taxable income is not utilizing any band because the taxable income is 0. Now look at the saving income amount, which is 5,000. Can I say logically? Entire 5,000 is covered by the starting rate band, where applicable tax rate is 0%. Now, if we deduct the remaining personal allowance 2570 from the saving income, logically, we will not be saving any tax on that. Why? Because logically on this 5,000, you are not paying any tax. Entire 5,000 actually falls in starting rate band. So whenever simply your saving income, entire saving income is covered in the starting rate band, then please do not deduct the remaining personal allowance from the saving income. Now you should deduct the remaining personal allowance from dividend income, which is 2570. Because if you have deducted 2570 from the saving income, so logically you would have just wasted 2570. Deducting 2570 from the 5,000 will not result in any tax saving, because logically we are not paying any tax on this 5,000 of the saving income, because entire 5,000 actually falls in the starting rate band. 12,570. Calculate. 15,000 minus 2570. I'm getting 12,430. 17,430. Now let's calculate income tax. Can I say starting rate band, saving income? 5,000 into 0% is obviously 0. Dividend income, we know that every individual gets nil rate band of 1,000 for the dividend income. Nil rate band dividend income is 1,000 into 0%. Obviously, the dividend income is 12,430. 1,000 out of that we have taken in the nil rate band. So the remaining amount is 11,430, which definitely falls in the basic rate band, where applicable rate is 8.75%. It means basic rate band, dividend income, 11,430 into 8.75%. So 11,430 875. Student, I'm getting 1,000.125. So make it 1,000. Let's recheck. 11,430. Or students. Okay, that's great. So this is your simply income. This is your income tax liability. Okay. Now, just one question. Assuming employment income is 15,000. Saving income is 20. Dividend income is, let's say, 15. Required income tax liability. It's a really simple question. I want every one of you quickly attempt this small question and give me answer. Income tax liability, please quickly. Okay, that's great. The students, they are replying and the answers are coming. Let's see. Non-saving income. Saving income and dividend income. Final column is total. Obviously, employment income is a non-saving income, 15,000. Saving income is 20,000, okay? Dividend income is 15,000. So altogether, I'll get 50. I'm getting 50. Fine. Personal allowance, obviously 12,570. So 15,000 minus 12,570. I'm getting 2,430. 20,000 here. So let's see what we are getting. 37,430. Okay. Income tax. Obviously, we know the sequence of applying the tax rates. First, we have to deal with the non-saving income. Obviously, 2,430 falls in basic rate band. 2,430 non-saving. Applicable tax rate is 20%. 2,430. The answer is 486. Now, please try to understand. In the column of non-saving, taxable income is 2,430. In the column of non-saving, the taxable income is 2,430. It means that you will not be getting a starting rate band for the saving income entire 5,000. You will not be getting a starting rate band for the saving income entire 5,000 will not be given to you. From the 5,000, I will deduct 2,430. 5,000 minus 2,430. 2,570. So this individual is going to get the starting rate band, but only 2,570. And let me just give you a few more examples. Non-saving, listen. If taxable income after deducting the personal allowance, if taxable income in the column of non-saving, if the taxable income in the column of non-saving, if it is greater than equal to 5,000, then starting rate band will be 0 for the saving income. Repeat, in the column of non-saving, after deducting the personal allowance, if the taxable income is either 5,000 or more than that, then for the saving income, your starting rate, you will not be getting any starting rate band. Second example, Let's say if in the column of non-saving, I'm just assuming taxable income is 0, then you will be getting starting rate band for the entire 5,000. Third, assuming taxable income after deducting the personal allowance in the column of non-saving, if it is 1,000, then starting rate band 4,000 will be given to you. Let's say taxable income in the column of non-saving after deducting the personal allowance, if it is 2,000, then you will get a starting rate band 3,000. I hope this starting rate band issue should be really good now. Now come here. Starting rate band, saving income, 2570, applicable rate is 0%. Obviously, 0. Okay, now, please. Now we have to think for the nil rate band for saving income. And nil rate band for the saving income depends on taxpayer status. Look at this. By looking at total taxable income, which is 37,430. Great. By looking at total taxable income, which is 37,430, which is less than the basic rate band. Basic rate band limit is 37,700. So by looking at total taxable income, which is 37,430, we can easily decide this individual is a basic rate taxpayer. Can I say whoever is a basic rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of 1,000? Nil rate band, saving income, nil rate band, saving income. 1,000 into 0% is 0. So from this 20,000 saving income, 2,570 we have considered in a starting rate band, 1,000 in nil rate band. Let's see how much is left. 16,430. Thank you. 16,430. Obviously falls in basic rate band. Saving income 16,430. Applicable rate is 20%. 16,430. 3286. For the dividend income, we know that nil rate band, every individual gets nil rate band of 1,000. Can I say the remaining 14,000 actually the remaining 14,000 of the dividend income falls in basic rate band? Why? Look at the total taxable income. Actually, total taxable income is 37,430, which is in fact less than the limit of basic rate band. That is why entire 14,000 from the dividend income falls in basic rate band. Applicable tax rate is 8.75%. One double 2.5. So here comes your income tax liability. Let's see, what are we getting? Students, I'm getting 4,997. Income tax liability. Okay, now one more concept. That is pay. Pay as you earn. You can say that advanced tax which is deducted at source. If someone is an employee, so normally what happens, if you are an employee, you will get your salary, but normally we get the salary after deduction of pay as you earn. So basically, pay as you earn is the tax which is already paid. So what is the importance of this pay? Let me explain. For example, let's say you have calculated the income tax liability. I'm just assuming that income tax liability we have calculated assuming 20,000 pounds. And in the same question, examiner has given us the pay as well. Pay as you earn. The tax which is already paid in advance, assuming it is 8,000. So we will say 12,000 is income tax payable, the tax which we have to still pay. Okay. But there's a possibility. I'm not saying it is going to happen always, but I'm just saying, what if income tax liability, assuming it is just let's say 12,000, and pay, I'm assuming it is I'm just assuming again, okay, is 15. If this is the case, then this 3,000 is your income tax refundable. This is your income tax refundable. So this 3,000 is your income tax refundable. So HMRC is going to return you this because you have paid more tax than your income tax liability. Okay, now one more concept, that is, the name of the concept is marriage allowance. When both husband and wife, are basic rate taxpayer, to get this marriage allowance relief, number one condition is both husband and wife, they have to be basic rate taxpayer. Okay. Only in that case, marriage allowance can be claimed. In marriage allowance, actually, what happens? Personal allowance, you can say personal allowance 1260 is transferred. So, for example, husband can transfer 1260 personal allowance to wife, or wife can transfer to the husband. So, who will be transferring this 1260? It depends on the income. For example, I'm just assuming, okay? Assuming husband is having the income of just 8,000 and wife is having the income of, assuming, 22,000. Both are having employment income. I'm just assuming one is having 8, another is having 22. So it can be seen that husband is not in a position to utilize his entire personal allowance. Number one. Number two, obviously both of them are basically taxpayer. So they should go for marriage allowance. And let's say this is a simple question and we are asked to calculate income tax liability for the wife of, let's say, Mr. X. So how we are going to calculate income tax liability? Assuming the employment income is 22,000. Personal allowance 12570. Now listen carefully. Due to marriage allowance, recipient spouse, personal allowance will not increase by 1260. Even though husband has transferred 1260 to his wife, but personal allowance will not increase by 1260. How that works, just wait for that. Then what are we going to do? Just wait. 22,000 minus 12570. I'm getting 9430. Logically, the taxable income is 9430. So 9430 into 20%. 1886 less marriage allowance relief. Less marriage allowance relief. 1260 into 20%. 252. 1634. So logically, the income tax liability is 1634. Income tax liability. A very important point is the main presentation is recipient spouse personal allowance will not increase by 1260. Logically, due to marriage allowance relief, income tax liability of recipient spouse will reduce by 252. Okay. Okay, students, right now I'm taking a prayer break. The class will resume exactly, I would say, after 30 minutes. And it's up to you. Stay online if you're going offline. So before resuming the class, I'll drop the message in your respective WhatsApp groups. So we will resume the class, inshallah, within next 30 minutes. Let me pause the. Okay, students, let's resume the class. Okay. There's one more concept of jointly on asset. Just actually, in case of jointly owned asset, no matter whatever is the actual ownership proportion. In case of husband and wife, if there's a jointly owned asset and income is coming from the jointly owned asset, for example, property which is given on rent, and assuming that property is a jointly owned asset by husband and wife, in that case, income from jointly owned asset, will be apportioned 50-50. Irrespective of actual ownership. But a very important point is, if husband and wife, they want income should be apportioned according to their actual ownership, it is possible only when both of them jointly declared their actual ownership and make the joint election. So if they both make a joint election and declare their actual ownership to HMRC, in that case, obviously, after that, income will be apportioned according to their actual ownership. Otherwise, income is going to be apportioned 50-50 in case of jointly owned assets. Okay, now we know that in UK, only those individuals are required to pay tax. They have income more than 12,570. Okay, but what about those individuals? They are very wealthy people. So should they be getting from this, should they be getting benefit from this personal allowance? The answer is no. HMRC, they have come up with the solution. The solution is, if someone is so wealthy having adjusted net income more than equal to 1,25,140, then personal allowance becomes zero. If someone is so wealthy that that individual is having adjusted net income equal to greater than 1,25,140, then personal allowance becomes zero. Okay, how do we calculate adjusted net income? Just take net income less gross gift aid donation less gross PPC, personal pension contribution. Gross personal pension contribution. The final answer is your adjusted net income. Now, if your adjusted net income is, and let me tell you one thing, gross gift aid donation works exactly in the same way like gross PPC works, which we are going to discuss. But you will not see it in ATX gross gift aid donation. You should have the little bit knowledge about gross gift aid, that it exactly works like gross PPC. Otherwise, in ATX, examiner does not go towards gift aid donation. So simply you will be having gross PPC in your ATX. Okay, now, if the final answer is basically adjusted net income, if adjusted net income is less than equal to 1 lakh, if adjusted net income is less than equal to 1 lakh, then entire personal allowance is available. Entire personal allowance 12,570 is available. Personal allowance only starts reducing when adjusted net income is more than 1 lakh. For example, assuming adjusted net income is 1,20,000. Students, please quickly answer. What will be the personal allowance? Simply, personal allowance, the normal limit is 12,570 less. Adjusted net income is 1,20,000 minus 100,000 of the formula into either take 50% or 1/2, it's the same thing. We'll have 10,000. So 2,570, that's the correct answer. So this individual is going to get personal allowance 2,570. Now, what are the tax implications of gross PPC? Personal pension contribution. Personal pension contribution. Number one, whatever individual contributes for himself or herself in personal pension scheme, it is treated as 80%. Logically, 20% will be paid by HMRC. So, whatever individual contributes in personal pension scheme for himself or let's say herself, it is treated as 80%. And 20% is paid by HMRC. Obviously, it's a benefit. How come it is a benefit? For example, Mr. X has become a member of personal pension scheme, assuming he has contributed £10,000 in the personal pension scheme, obviously for himself, that when he's going to be retired, he will be in the age of retirement getting. So on that time, he should be having enough funds so that he can spend the rest of his life. So if he has contributed 10,000 into the pension scheme, so logically, if you gross up 10,000 by multiplying by 100 upon 80, you will get 12,500. So 2,500 on the behalf of Mr. X, HMRC will pay into that scheme. So the benefit to Mr. X is his funds will not actually grow by 10,000 by his actual contribution. His funds in that scheme will grow by 12,500. Why? Because 2,500 will be paid by the HMRC. So the first implication, tax implication is whatever individual pays, it is 80%, 20% is paid by HMRC. Second benefit, you can say, we know that basic rate band limit is 37,700. Higher rate band ends at 1,25,140. The second benefit is gross PPC actually increases your basic and higher rate band limits. So basically, basic and higher rate band limits will be increased by gross PPC. Obviously, when basic rate band limit increases, so more amount will fall in basic rate band. So automatically, you are going to save tax. So gross PPC will increase the limit of basic rate band as well as higher rate band. That's the second tax implication. Third and the last. Gross PPC reduces adjusted net income. We have seen that if someone is having adjusted net income 100,000 or less than that, will get the entire personal allowance 12,570. There's a possibility that someone is having, let's say, net income assuming 2 lakh. Can I say whoever is having net income 200,000, if that individual is having a gross PPC either 1 lakh or more than that, so personal allowance will not reduce for that individual. Repeat. If someone is having net income 200,000, but contributes, is having gross contribution either 1 lakh or more than that, so automatically the adjusted net income will be less than 100,000. And we have already seen the rule. We have already discussed the rule. If adjusted net income is 1 lakh or less than that, then personal allowance does not reduce. So these are the 3 tax implications pertaining to personal pension contribution. Okay. Now, another important concept is, what is that? Let's see a small question, then we'll be discussing something new. Assuming employment income is 1,50,000. I'm assuming Mr. X is having employment income 150. And let me tell you one thing. If examiner just gives you personal pension contribution, nothing is mentioned. If nothing is mentioned, we always treat that net. So you have to gross it up. How do we gross up the personal pension? Multiply by 100 divided by 80. Nothing is mentioned. Whenever only personal pension is given, we always assume it is 80%. Let's say personal pension contribution is 30,000. Required. Students, I want everyone to calculate income tax liability. And also calculate income tax payable. Let's say pay as you earn. We have pay 20,000. I want every one of you to calculate income tax liability as well as income tax payable. Please attempt this question. Let's see what are the results. A student have share the answers. Let's see. Employment income is a non-saving income. We know that. Okay. More answers are coming. Employment income. 1,50,000. Okay. Personal allowance, we have to check how much personal allowance is available. Working one. Adjusted net income. Obviously, just this employment income, nothing else. So entire 150 works as net income. Net income is 150. Less gross PPC. Nothing is mentioned. We have already decided it is net. You need to make it gross. 100 upon 80. So 30,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 80. I'm getting 37,500. Okay. Gross PP is 37,500. Adjusted net income is obviously more than 1 lakh, 1,12,500. So personal allowance 12570 less 112,500 minus 112,500 minus 1 lakh into 1 upon 2 or 50% is the same thing. 6250. Perfect. So this individual will get personal allowance of 63. So personal allowance is available, but that is 6320. Taxable income, let's see what are we getting. 1,43,680. Thank you. 1,43,680. Okay. Now let's calculate income tax. Income tax. Can I say basic rate band will increase? The normal limit of basic rate band is 37,700. It will increase by gross PPC, which is 37,500. So 37,700 plus 37,500. Basic rate band is having a limit of 75,200. Obviously, the higher rate band limit will also increase 1,25,140. Add 37,500. 1,25,140 plus 37,500. 1,62,640. Now, obviously 75,200 and into 20%. 75,200 into 20%. 15,040. Now, can I say, look at this taxable income. Obviously, this taxable income, 1,43,680 is not exceeding higher rate band, because now the higher rate band limit is 1,62,640. So simply from 1,43,680, we will deduct 75,200. Whatever comes, it will fall in higher rate band. So let's deduct 75,200 from 1,43,680 minus 75,200. I'm getting 68,480. Great. 68,480, and applicable tax rate is obviously 40%. It is 27,392. So here comes your income tax liability. Let's see what is the income tax liability. I'm getting income tax liability 42,432. Can I say less pay as you earn, the tax which is already paid at source in advance? Was there any pay? Yes, 20,000. Here comes income tax payable. Income tax payable. It is 22,432. Okay, let's quickly discuss today's last rule, last concept. We know that basic rate band increases by the gross PPC and the high rate band increases by the gross PPC. But there's one rule which you should know that. What is that? Bands increase by. Actually, the bands, they increase by lower off. Number one is gross PPC. Gross personal pension contribution. Number two is higher off. When we say higher off, it is 3,600 and total of relevant earnings. Total of relevant earnings. Relevant earnings are three. Number one is employment income. Trading income. And the last is income from furnished holiday letting. Excellent. Income from furnished holiday letting. Obviously, look at this. When we solve this question, directly we increase the bands by 37,500 because we already knew that the total of the relevant earning is far more than the gross PPC. So obviously, all the time, I'm not going to check the band will increase by which amount. If by looking at the data, you exactly know that the band will increase by the amount of gross PPC, then there's no need to check. Obviously, where you have a slight, doubt, then it's better to check that exactly by which amount should I increase basic and higher rate band. So students, you might have noticed in today's class, we have covered number of, I would say, areas of advanced taxations. As I made a commitment, From here onwards, obviously, we are going to cover, inshallah, entire ATX in our live classes, but I need a commitment from you. Whenever I'm going to take the class, I want you to be there to attend the class. And to be very honest, this will really help you. These classes will automatically increase your ability of recalling the rules. Automatically, it will increase. Obviously, these classes will be uploaded on the portal, but I would, again, I would say, I would put emphasis, try to take these classes live, take out time, attend these classes. And just the last announcement, those individuals, they are watching this lecture on YouTube and you want to get more information regarding admission. So ASA admin number, for those students, they are outside Pakistan, it is 0092. Okay, I'll do that. 0092 333 666 214. And those students that are within Pakistan, you can contact the admin by using this number. So if someone is outside Pakistan, the first number, those that are within Pakistan, the second number is here. Bands will increase by lower of gross PPC and higher of, this is a fixed amount, 3,600. And you have to compare 3,600 with the total of relevant earnings, whichever is higher. For example, I'm just assuming higher amount is 90. Assuming total relevant earning is 90. So higher of, I'll take 90. Or you can apply this on the question which we have just done. Employment income is 1,50,000. So obviously 3,600 and 150, higher amount is 150. Now, lower of gross PPC and 150. Gross PPC is 37,500. So we increase the bands by 37,500. Students, get ready for the revision of entire ATX in live classes. And I just need a commitment. I'll try my best to accommodate as many students as possible, timings, each and everything. But if sometime in 1 or 2 classes, if I need your time, so please, you should be there. So thank you very much. And I strongly believe these revision classes, live revision classes, entire ATX in the live classes is going to really help you. And inshallah, it will increase our passing rate. Already we are having a really high passing rate, but I want to be more than 80%. So obviously to break that 80% threshold, we have to work hard. So thank you very much. Have a nice life. I always say have a nice life because day is very small. Life itself is very small. So that's why I want my students to have a nice life. Thank you very much.